The most recent major motion picture adaptation is my personal favorite, Dune. Originally published in 1965 by Frank Herbert, Dune has had 2 silver screen adaptations. First in 1984 by legendary director David Lynch, and again in 2021 by one of my personal favorite directors, Denis Villeneuve. The latter features a very stacked cast consisting of Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Jason Momoa, Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Stellan Skarsgård, Josh Brolin, Javier Bardem, Dave Bautista, and so many other more wonderful actors. I saw 2024's Dune 2 before I had seen the first one on a whim with a bunch of my friends, and I was immediately sucked into the universe. I went and bought the first 2 books afterward. I read the first novel, which is around 800 pages, in about 2 weeks and fully annotated it with highlights, which normally I wouldn't do, but this franchise got me out of a reading slump that I was in for years, and it brought me back to a hobby that I enjoyed throughout pretty much all of my life. And while I love these stories so much, I think that this is a perfect example of an adaptation that wouldn't work without its director, Denis Villeneuve. He does an outstanding job at not only beautiful cinematography, but also a damn near perfect adaptation. With every book, there are things that truly can't be translated to the screen, like a character's internal monologue, for example. But splitting a 796-page book into 2 movies is not an easy feat.
Your feet!
Villeneuve has a near unmatched talent for world building in cinema with movies like Blade Runner 2049, Cesario, Enemy, Prisoners, and one of my personal favorites, Arrival. These movies all showcase the sheer power of a dedicated director. And while Villeneuve shifted the story to focus mainly on the Bene Gesserit rather than the Mentat, and more of the Atreides governing side, I don't think that it really takes away from any of the actual story. He remained true to the story and adapted certain things to better fit a feature film. Personally, in the first movie, aside from the Mentats, I think that the biggest change that they made was to Lady Jessica. Lady Jessica is a member of the Bene Gesserit, and the Bene Gesserit are a group of women with the ability to control not only their own emotions, but the emotions of others around them in order to manipulate people. In the book, but especially in the movie, they use a technique named the Voice. In my opinion, there are many times in the movie where the book version of Lady Jessica would have acted very differently. Namely, near the end of the movie, whenever Paul and Jessica find themselves stranded in the desert in Arrakis after killing the Harkonnen guards that were sent to kidnap them. They hide in a tent inside of the dunes, and Paul has a spice-related episode. He sees a holy war spread in his name with his family's crest spread upon banners. When he snaps out of this, he blames Jessica and the Bene Gesserit for creating this prophecy for him to fulfill. At this point, Lady Jessica begins to weep, along with many other times throughout the movie. And that's very human, and I think that that takes away from the true purpose of Jessica's mission. This is simply one of those things that you can't adapt to a movie in the same way. You can't hear her thoughts, you can't listen to her internal monologues, it's hard to know what her true emotions or stakes in this movie ever really are. Despite the minor changes to the story, I think that Dune and Dune 2 have changed the way that we will look at science fiction movies for another century.